Hi, thanks for watching my lesson. This one's going to be on different ways to play a blues shuffle, beginner ways to play a blues shuffle that are not the typical beginner way that everyone learns. So if you're like me, when you start off playing blues, you kind of think when someone says play a shuffle, you've got to play that chunka chunka type thing. This is a way of showing you that there are lots of different ways of playing a shuffle, which is still fairly entry level, but enable you to mix it up and not get bored playing the same thing over and over again. And it also highlights that the shuffle is more of a rhythmic feel than what chord fingerings and placements you're using. So yeah, come in for a close-up and I'll show you what I mean. Thanks. So before we look at the 3 different ways to play these shuffles, I'm going to give a really quick overview on what a typical blues is, just in case you've stumbled across this lesson and you don't know, which is quite understandable if it's the first time you've tried to learn the blues. 12 bar, so most common way to play it is a 12 bar. 12 bar refers to 12 different bars or measures. The most standard way to play that follows a very set structure of the 1, 4 and 5 chord, which will appear somewhere on this screen now, hopefully. If it's not specified as a minor blues, it's safe to presume it is just a blues or a major blues. So we're not using minor chords, we're using that kind of dominant 7th sound. The 1, 4 and 5 refer to the first chord in the key, the 4th chord in the key and the 5th chord in the key. If you don't know what those are, then the easiest hack to work it out is to use this kind of L shape, whereby your 1 chord is the key you're in. So if you're playing an A blues, your 1 chord is an A. As an A dominant 7. So find the note of the key on the low E string. In the example I just gave them, an A, it's the 5th fret. So 1 chord A. Your 4 chord, go down vertically to the next string, i.e. the A string, and then on the same fret that you played on the E string, work out what note that is. In this case it's a D. So 1 chord A, 4 chord D, and then come up 2 frets on the A string and that's your 5th chord, whatever note that is. So that's an E, our 5th chord is an E. That works with any key, so we're going to be looking at the key of E. So our first chord is an E, open E string. Our 4th chord, therefore, is going to be the open A string. So we know that our next chord is an A. We then come up 2 frets on that open A, which is the 2nd fret of the A string. That's a B. So our 5th chord is going to be a B. And that's the most simple way to think of it. It's going to be following a typical turnaround, so the last 4 bars are going to be following the 5 chord, the 4 chord, the 1 chord, back to the 5 chord. There's no quick change. If you hear the term quick change means your 2nd bar is going to be the 4th chord instead of the 1 chord. And then you go back to the 1 chord for your 3rd and 4th. And that's just some basic terminology so that you know a typical bog standard way of playing the blues. Yeah, so let's now discuss the shuffle component. So another thing you need to distinguish when you are playing blues, if you're jamming with someone else, or you want to get on the stage at an open mic or blues jam, is hopefully someone's going to tell you whether it's a shuffle or a straight blues. So the most standard way people learn to play a blues rhythm is something like this. That kind of, where you take a power chord, like an A up here for example, and you're only playing these 2 strings, the E and the A string, and you're bouncing back and forth up 2 frets on the A string. So I spent a long time thinking that if you were playing a shuffle, you basically had to do that. You had to do those chords and those fingerings, and that meant you were playing a shuffle. which is kind of right, because if you play it like that, it is a shuffle. This is a shuffle. But I could play those same chords and same fingerings and it not be a shuffle if I played them at slightly different times. So I could go. So that's still a blues, it's still got a bluesy feel, but that's not a shuffle, that's a straight blues. So shuffle. Straight. So it's all about that swing. You're swinging that offbeat as opposed to having it bang in the middle of the beat. So technically what you're doing, if you want to know the theory side of it, is you are subdividing the beat into 3 eighth note triplets. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, and you're not sounding the middle one. So you're creating this gap where you're pushing up the offbeat close to the beat, and there's this like swing created. But it's going to be the rhythm section for the most part looking after that. So you as a guitarist don't have to imitate that. You can still be playing a shuffle without doing that. You don't have to play that, I guess is the point of this lesson. So with that in mind, let's look at how to play the 3 different shuffles. So shuffle number 1 is basically taking this beginner one that we discussed a second ago. Where you would generally only play the E and the A string. We're going to now switch out the E string for the D string. So we're going to be playing the A and the D. I'm going to be using downstrokes all the way, and it's going to sound like this. So that's our first 4 bars, and what we're doing there, so for bars 1 and 3, we're just going to be going. So that's 2 downstrokes holding the, so use your first finger to bar the 2nd fret on the A and the D. Play it twice. Then play it twice, keeping those 2 where they are, but this time the ring finger is going to be holding the 4th fret on the A string. And then repeat that again. Remember we got that shuffle feel, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You could do that for the first 4 bars, but we're not. We're only going to do that for the 1st and 3rd, because for the 2nd and 4th we're going to go. So that's 2 down again, and then on the low E string we're going to go 3 and 4. We're then going to play that again on the A and the D, and we're going to finish that 2nd measure with, so we're just going to play once with the 4 and the 2, so 4th fret on the A, 2nd fret on the D, and then play again 2, 2. So let's pull that together. And exactly the same, except for we take everything down a string for our 4 chord, which is an A. So again, we've got this time 2 and 2 on the D and the G. 2 downstrokes, and then 2 downstrokes holding the D string on the 4th fret. Repeat. And then for our 5th bar, we're again going to do the 3, 4, but this time on the A string. And then 1. So let's put all those together. And then bars 7 and 8, we're going to just repeat what we did with the E again. So that takes us up to bar 9. For bar 9 we go to our 5 chord, which is a B, remember. So we imagine this B shape. So we're going to be first finger again on the D and the G string on the 4th fret this time. So 2, 2, 2, 2. So this time the ring finger's coming down on the 6th fret of the D string. Slide down and do that again with the A chord. And then back to the E chord for the 11th fret, 11th measure. So that 9, 10 and 11 measures, very easy, all following the same pattern for the different chords. And then for our 12th bar, we're going to do this little turnaround where we're going to go so for the first beat, first thing we play on that 12th, we're going to play the E again, i.e. the 2nd fret on the A and the D. We're then going to do a walk up from open A string, 1, 2. So we're walking into our B7 shape now. So that's 2, 2, open 1, 2, and then we're going to play 1 on the D string, and then we're going to play 2 on the G string, but also if you want to sound the open B string. So just that turnaround then, so shuffle 1 done. Let's have a look at shuffle 2. So shuffle 2 is the trickiest out of the 3 of them, but again it highlights different ways to play a shuffle. So this one's going to be based more on the E chord shape, and then the A bar chord shape up here, and then the B shape. So we're going to start off like this. So what we're doing there, again, imagine we've got an E shape. We're going to hammer on using the G and the B strings, that higher part of the E chord. So play them both together and hammer on the 1st fret of the G string. And then imagine you're playing an A. We want to play the 2nd fret on the G and the B. Back to hammering on that G string, 1st fret. It doesn't matter when you're hammering onto the G string, it doesn't matter too much if you're not playing the B. So, and then finish by playing the 2nd fret on the D string. And that's the first part. Next bar. So again, start off by hammering on that 1st fret on the G. So yeah, so hammer on, then come up to the 2nd fret on the D, and then roll your fingers down and play the 2nd fret on the G and the B. And then hammer back on that 1st fret on the G. And then to finish, that's 2, open, 2 on the D string. So those 2 bars together. And then repeat bar 1 for the third bar by doing that again. And then for bar 4 we're going to go so start off with first finger on the second fret of the B, middle finger on the third fret of the G, and just slide up once and then play again. And then play the 2-2 on the G and the B twice. Hammer on to the 1 again on the G, and finish with the second fret on the D. So those first 4 bars all together. Now we come up to our 5 and our 6 bars, and we're going to be on the 4 chord now, which is the A, remember? And we're going to go so really similar, just up here. So it starts off the same. This time you're going to be barring with your first finger on the 5th fret of the G and the B. You're going to hammer on to the 6th fret of the G. Then we're going to use this finger to play the 7th fret on the G and the B. Hammer on again. Come up to the 7th fret on the D. And then repeat essentially what we did down here for the 6th bar, which is, so that's hammer on again. 7th fret on the D, 7th on the G and the B. So again we're rolling down. Hammer on, and that's 5 to 6 again. And then 7, 5, 7 on the D. So the 5th and the 6th bar are going to be for the 7th and the 8th, we're back down to the E, and we're going to repeat what we did for the 3rd and the 4th. Which brings us to our turnaround, so we come up to our 5 chord, which is going to be up here in this B shape. So this time we're hammering on, so bar the 7th fret on the G and the B, hammer on to the G string to the 8th fret, so hammer on, and then 9, 9 on the G and the B, hammer on again, 9 on the D string, come down to our 4 chord for the 10th measure. So we're going to do what we did for our 6th measure, I believe. So 5, 5, hammer onto the 6, 7 on the D, 7 on the G and the B, hammer on again, 7, 5, 7 on the D. So far we've got so all together from there, because I've lost track of where I am. So go back to what we did at the beginning for this 11th bar. So hammer on fret 1, 2, 2, hammer on again, 2nd fret on the D. Then play it again, and then finish it the same way we did the first shuffle. So altogether we've got shuffle 2 done. Yeah. I found that one quite hard to explain. Let's move on to shuffle 3, which is probably the easiest of all of them. So shuffle 3, we're going to be basically using what is quite similar to what you might expect a bass player to play. So this time, shuffle 1 was kind of using these power chord shapes. Shuffle 2 was using your kind of open and bar chord shapes. Shuffle 3 is more riff based. I mean, if following chord shapes, again, this time you're using an E bar chord up here essentially, and an A and a B again. Yeah. So basically it's going to be this. So this is the only time I think where I'm using the odd up pick, but doesn't really matter. If you want to go all down picks, that's fine. But we're going to start off by playing, again, we've got that kind of shuffle feel. One and two and three and four and one and two and three and... as opposed to, which would be a straight feel. I digress. So start off 7th fret on the A string, which is an E note. Play that twice. Little staccato, kind of just lifting that off and muting in between. And then we're coming down an octave and we're playing an E again, but this time we're going to be on the G string, 9th fret. Then come down 2 frets and play the G string on the 7th fret. And then come up and play the 9th fret on the D string. And that's what we do for all of our 1 chord. Our 4 chord, we're going to come up to the A shape and we're going to go. So that's 5 twice, 7 twice on the D string, and then on 5 twice on the D string as well. So, and then finish with 7 on the A string. That's 1 bar, repeat. Back to your 1 chord, i.e. the E. So we've done that twice. Then start the turnaround, so measure number 9, we're on the B, so that's 7 on the E string, twice, 9 twice on the D string, twice on the 7th fret on the D string, and then back to the 9th fret on the A string. Slide everything down to and do it again for the A. And then repeat. And finish on the B. So all together again, one last time. There you go. Don't ever be bored again playing a blues shuffle. You've got all of these different options available. Yeah, hope that's helped someone. Hope it didn't get too boring. I did start to fall asleep at the sound of my own voice at one point. Yeah, enjoy. Thank you. Bye.